So there's a water bearer in India who would get water every day, walk down to the stream to get water for his master in two big pots that he had attached to a pole that he wore over his neck, these two big ceramic pots. And one of the pots was perfect and would carry all the water back, and the other pot had a crack in it. So it would get back to the master's house with half the water gone. So one day, after 2 years, the crack pot, they got down to the stream, and the crack pot said to the water bearer, "I'm so sorry." And he's like, "What are you sorry for?" And he said, "I'm just sorry because when we get back to the master's house, I only give you half of a pot of water. Whereas the other pot gives you a full pot of water." And the full pot, the perfect pot was like, "Yes, I do. I'm full pot of water for me." And the water bearer said to the cracked pot, "I want you to notice the flowers on the path along the trail as we walk back." And so they get back to the master's house, and again, one pot full of water, the other half full, and the cracked pot again says, "I'm so sorry. Again, I only gave you half a pot of water." And the water bearer said, "Did you notice the flowers?" He goes, "Yes, I noticed the sun shining on the flowers and how beautiful they were." And he said, "Well, I noticed your crack 2 years ago, and I planted flower seeds just on your side of the path because I knew as we walked, you would be watering those flower seeds. And every day I go to the flowers and cut some for our master's table and create beauty. You see, where you see a flaw, I see a gift." I love that story because we're all cracked pots, aren't we? Some more than others. But we're all cracked pots. We all have things about ourselves that we see as flaws that can actually be used as gifts, that can be actually used in service to something else, to someone else. We all have that ability to be cracked pots. We all are the cracked pots. And what are we in service to? Are we in service to something we love? That's the question today. What are you in service to? One of the things that I love is family. Something that's really important to me, one of my core values. And whether they contact me or not, I'm usually the one to make the calls. I'm usually the one to reach out. And that's okay. I'm aware that it's important to me. So even when I feel like, well, they haven't called me in a couple weeks, like, why should I call them, right? Our humanness can go there. It's important to me, so I make the call. I reach out. So a couple weeks ago, I got invited to a birthday party for our 9-year-old granddaughter, Harper. And I knew Kevin wasn't going to be home. He's out of town. It was last night. And, initial response, "It's a Saturday. I'm working on my talk. I don't want to drive down to Sterling Ranch. It's a reptile birthday party." Okay. Want nothing to do with those things. But because family is important to me, I went. And I'm really glad I went. And I don't know whether Harper cares whether I was there or not, but I know that I made the effort because it's important. I'm in service to building relationships and rapport with my granddaughters and my kids, grandson as well, all of them, the kids and my parents. I'm in service to that. Service is crucial to our well-being. It's crucial. That we are all human beings and we're all interconnected and we need each other and we need to help each other and we need to be there for each other. And the more we give in service, the better we feel, the more we can realize our potential, the more we can see how we can make a difference and how we grow we build communities. We make a difference. Some pretty famous people said this about service. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, Gandhi. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Albert Einstein, only a life lived in the service of others is a life worth living. And Winston Churchill, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Pretty impressive people there saying that service is what's important. Service. And it's so easy for us, especially in this world and in this culture, to be in a consumer mindset. To be in a mindset of, well, what can I get out of that? What am I going to get? What I need more. I want. Instead of, what can I give? What can I give? What can I get is a lack mentality. It's saying I don't have enough. I need more. Whereas when we give from the abundance that's in our hearts, that's an abundant mindset. We all have gifts. We all have cracked pots. We all have things that we can share with others. And it's beautiful when we do. And we know, those of us that give in service, and I'm sure all of you have at some time given in service, the joy that you feel immediately. There's no lag between the giving and the receiving when we give in service. I came across this book maybe a month ago. It's called The Most Important Thing by Adyashanti. He wrote The Resurrecting Jesus, which I love that book. I referred to that at Easter. But this book, he talks about what is the most important thing. Of course, it's called The Most Important Thing, but the very first chapter is, what is your most important thing? What is your most important thing? You may not know when you just ask that question. You may have to take it in and into discernment. But he's asking, what is the most important thing? Not your top 10 list, not your top 5 or top 3, your one most important thing. And we have different things that are the most important thing for us throughout our lifetimes because we go through different phases in our life. And so what it was 2 years ago might not be what it is today. And let that be okay, but what is it right now? Your most important thing. And be in service to that. Be in service to that. Spend your time and your attention on that. He says this is what service is. There's a quote. The willingness to put ourselves in a position of giving, to be an embodiment of what we are dedicated to, and to put our life, time, attention, and energy into the most important things. When we know what the most important thing is, we can dedicate our life to that. We can focus our energy on that instead of focusing on all the other stuff that comes up. Because a lot of stuff will come up. So we can look at, what are we in service to? Where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your energy? Where are you putting your focus? That's what you're servicing now. Does that bring you joy? Is it hard? So when we're focused and servicing the most important thing, it's easy. It's fun. It helps us come into our full potential. We enjoy it. We like it. We like doing it. It's fun. So, what are you in service to? And it can be so easy to be in service to our devices, our phones, our social media, right? We can be in service to that. That's where we're focusing all our attention. instead of focusing on what is important to us. Thursday, I went to a concert. Kevin and I went, a Mission Ballroom in Denver. We went to see Ben Rector, and he's amazing, so talented. He's this like down-to-earth 38-year-old guy that loves what he does. I mean, he's my stepson and his wife were with us, and he said he's the kind of guy I want to invite over for dinner, you know? Like, he's wearing a plaid shirt and New Balance shoes, and Eric said, "Is that a members only jacket he's wearing?" Like, you know, he's so talented, for one. But his band and he were having so much fun. They were in service to the music. They were using their gifts in service to entertaining all of us, to being there and sharing their songs with us, and it was fantastic. And you can tell the difference when somebody's really in service to what they're doing and when they're not, right? When it's something that's really important to them, because they give it their all, like their eyes light up. So the warm-up band was really good too. And the warm-up band was called the National Parks. They were super good. They were 4 friends from Salt Lake City. And they're singing a song called Tall Tales. And this band, they really wanted to get the audience participating with them. And so several songs where they would have us do like a phrase or a chant or something and sing with them. And so this song, Tall Tales, they had us say, "I believe, I believe, I believe," you know, like, because he's talking about the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot. So I had been, working on this subject matter. And as we're saying, I believe, I think, okay, I believe anything's possible. Anything's possible. What do we know? Everything's possible. I believe that anything is possible with Spirit. I believe that each one of us has our own unique gifts. I believe each of us has an indescribable, unlimited potential. I believe that when we use those gifts and tap into that potential, that we can make a huge difference, that we can change the world. I believe we are here right now in this room and watching online because we believe that too, that all of you believe that. I believe that when all of us come together, when all of us give from our heart what we love, that there's no stopping us. There's nothing that we can't do. And I believe this community can continue to thrive and be a sanctuary for people that are hungry for this kind of community. I believe this with all my heart. Each of you, have so much to give, so much potential, so much love. And you got to know that too. It's not enough for me to tell you. You have to feel it. A year ago, I went on sabbatical in May. Can't believe it's been a year already. And I had a lot of shifts in consciousness, shifts in my mindset during that time away. And one of them was remembering who you are. Remember who you are. Because when I remember who I am, it changes everything. It's a game changer. Because when I remember who I am, there's an unbelievable amount of self-love that comes. When I remember who I am, I remember who you are. And I remember that in spite of the humanness that gets in the way of that. Because each of us has those cracks, right? I remember who I am. I remember who you are. I've been immersed in the gospel according to Mary Magdalene because our women's retreat is going to be based on her gospel this year. It's in the last weekend of July. And it's amazing how when you get something that you're really feeling passionate about, like remembering who you are, and it's up there, and we have it hanging up there because I want all of you to get this. Her gospel is so in alignment with this message. She's telling the disciples, remember who you are. Not those exact words, but we're all fully human, fully divine. Fully human, fully divine. And we forget that. We just focus on the human part. We forget the divine part. And she tells them, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid. There's so much more we can do, and we can remember that. We can be in service. We can serve that. Serve that knowing. Serve that understanding of yourself. During the Revolutionary War, there was a group of men who were building or repairing a defense barrier. And the man in charge was sitting on his horse yelling commands at them. And another man rode up on horseback and said to the guy that was yelling at sitting on his horse, said, "Why are you yelling at those men instead of getting down and helping them?" And he said, "Well, because I'm a colonel." And so the other man got off his horse and helped the men who were building. They got all done. The guy got back on his horse, and he said, "Colonel, next time you need help, call your commander-in-chief, and I will come and help you." It was George Washington. Being in service is humbling. There's no task that is too small for any of us. We often think we're too big to do something. I shouldn't have to do that. That's beneath me. There's a quote about being humble. Well, okay, we'll go with this one. In the present moment, that one's next. In the present moment, we are all serving in our own way. We are all being part of a lineage. Whether we want to or not, we are all passing something on, and we are all affecting one another consciously or unconsciously. We're all passing something on. What we're in service to, people see. People see our kids, our grandkids. They pay attention. They're watching what we're doing, not as much what we're saying. So what are we passing on? What are our kids or grandchildren seeing us do? I love the story of Mary and Martha and how it's often used as to let us know that being is more important than doing. That's kind of where the interpretation often goes with Mary and Martha, because Martha's the doer and Mary's the one sitting at Jesus' feet. Master I'm going to say his name wrong. Help me. Eckhart, thank you. 12th or 13th century said, no, Martha's the one that's getting it. Martha, because she is doing the service. She is doing what needs to be done. In Unity, we have a principle number 5, that it's our actions. It's not enough to learn. It's great to learn it all and be, and we definitely need that. But we have to put it in action. We have to put it in action. And so Martha is the one that is doing it. She's the one that's grounded. She's the one that's doing the acts of service. What are we in service to? What are we servicing? What are we looking at? What are we focusing on? And I was talking about being humble, and there's something about real service is a humble energy. There we go. Real service is a humble energy. It's humble. Look at how Jesus demonstrated by washing the disciples' feet at the Last Supper. It's humble. It wasn't beneath him to do that. Some of the apostles thought he was. So we're not in a consumer mindset. So often it's easy to be in that consumer mindset instead of being in service. The Buddha was in service to his most important thing. He noticed that there was human suffering, sickness and death and pain. And so he set out to find how to alleviate that suffering. He left his family, he left his kids, his wife, the palace. He gave up everything in service to that. Jesus was in service to putting God first. It's his message, put God first. Always put God first. Not God out there, okay? God in here, in each one of us. Put that first, that knowing, that spiritual essence of you that knows who you are. So for each one of us, it's going to be different. What's your most important thing? What do you need to be in service to? Where do you want to focus it's all going to be different. Don't let the media tell you what it is. Don't let the world, don't let your family or friends say, I think this is what should be important to you. You get to discern. You decide. Spirit whispers to us, not to someone else for you. Be in service to whatever that is. Whatever that is. And it's going to make a big difference. It's going to make a huge difference to all of us, to you, to those in your circle. There's a ripple effect to all of this. We have a sacred service fair today after the service. We have a sacred service fair, and this is an opportunity for you to talk to the team leaders of our sacred service team, and we call it sacred service in Unity rather than volunteering because it is sacred that you're giving of yourself, giving of your gifts. And so talk to each of these team leaders, see what they do. And maybe something will resonate with you. That's a gift I have. I want to be in service to that gift. Here, this community, to help us continue to thrive, to help us to continue to be this beautiful support for so many. So I invite you to do that, to look within, what's your most important thing, and be in service to it. We can do this. We can make a difference. We can be the world we want to see. We can be it by doing it. So, namaste. Peace be with you.